leaders though run into this, like, hopefully they're aware of their values and they'd like to stay true to them, but then comes that moment where it's like, oh, the big deal or this, and it's right in front of them, and the pressures of life or business to say yes. How do you not? Like, how did you, like, what is this, what's the mechanism that we can all get better at staying true to ourselves, is what I heard, even in difficult.
I had faith. I had faith that if we said no, that was going to be okay, because something bigger and better was going to happen, and it always did. That if we spent so much time with the brands that, again, weren't going to make us feel good, and that we couldn't really give enough back to them that they deserved, that then we're wasting so much time with them, where there are so many companies out there who think the way that we do, who would get so much out of this, and we would both feel just incredible at the end of a really hard day's work, that we wanted to focus our time on that. And it was really hard to say no when we looked at the proposal potential and what their budgets were, and it was really exciting, but it again was about another 30-second conversation, and said, you know what, even if we're, out of work for a couple months, we would rather focus our time again on finding the right people, and thankfully it's always worked out.
Yeah,
beautifully.
It feels like values win, integrity wins.
Absolutely.
And I want to just ask you guys, because we're in a time where brand, so many of consumers, we can vote, but we want to kind of know the values of the brands that we. So it feels like it makes sense that because you've been true, there's this groundswell of support and word of mouth and all those things. Are you finding that? Is brand starting to become values driven in even a more important way? Do you experience that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we think about, even with restaurants, that consumers like to go places where they know that they are giving back, or they understand their values and they truly live their mission. And, I think from a consumer side, yes, I think when people are, in job interviews now, the question should be, not about why do you want to work for us, but what makes us perfect together?
Yeah.
And are we going down the same path? Because that's, you spend so much time at work that it's not the same separation that, it once was. I think just because of technology and the way things are going, and we're all so fast paced that when you think about brand and values moving in the same direction, it's everything. It's everything.
Yeah, agreed. And I think definitely, fear. I mean, fear is huge. So big in all of us. It doesn't matter, what our sex is, how old we are, and it's believing, as you said, faith, but it's that looks at believing in yourself to say, I am good enough, I can do this, I have faith in myself, and being able to pivot. If you're like, I change a lot, and sometimes that can, drive some people, my significant other, a little crazy, like, okay, come on, what do you mean? You're gonna do this again? But you have to, because it's not one path.
How do we, because I find that the insecurity, the questioning, the self-doubt happens all the way up the ladder, right? Really, so how do we start to build the muscle of self-confidence or believing in ourselves? Is there any tip or trick or things over time that we can do just to start getting more into that?
I mean, therapy is amazing. I'm definitely 100%
because it leads to
believe in
self-awareness,
that.
and
Absolutely. So I'm certified as a DISC and values coach, and so what that looks at is basically what are our behaviors, what are our innate behaviors, and why are we driven to do what we do. And those types of things are really good to find out, to say, well, what is it? What are my values? And what is it that drives me? And how do I act and react under stress? And what is the perception that I look like from the outside? But it is truly a lot of work. It's a lot of self-awareness. I mean, I grew up a really shy child, but I had a big enough rebel inside of me to say, you're not going to tell me I'm stupid, because I know that I am. And you're not going to, tell me I can't do that, because just watch me. And so for me, that sort of has what led my path. But then again, just truly believing in yourself, but it is a lot of work. and it's surrounding yourself with the right people. Like your tribe has to be in there with you, because if if the people that you're surrounding yourself with are all naysayers, then you're not going to take the leap. Or you're not going to stay in it. When times get bad, you're going to keep defaulting back to your norm, which is fear.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything you'd add?
No, it's perfect. It's so true. I mean, we think about we host these women mastermind groups, and a big part of that is women of all ages and industries and walks of life, that it's all about how we grow together and figure things out together, and making sure that we're all in, most of them have their own business, a lot of creatives, so it's they struggle with figuring out the business side of it, and then we have some who are lawyers and business coaches who are in it, and they can sit down and talk to them and just kind of figure out a way to work together to move the needle forward, and know that nobody's alone in this. And and I think just kind of touching on what Darlene said about surrounding yourself with the right people who are your cheerleaders and who want nothing but success, because that's so important. And thinking about my sister-in-law actually sent me a video 2 days ago about visualizing what you want, and it's one of those words we hear a lot, but when you really get down to the nitty-gritty of it, it does come down to fear. If you are telling yourself that you're not good enough because you're fearful of something, because maybe your significant other or your parents or your best friend is telling you the same thing, that can do so much damage to your soul and makes it really difficult for you to take that next leap. So I think knowing your worth enough to surround yourself with people who are proud of you at every step of the way, and being able to celebrate those wins is so important. I know for even with us, when we've started this business, it's been hard because we get these wins, and and you want to celebrate, but you don't even give yourself the time, and it's so unfortunate. I actually met a really wonderful woman at the Mohegan Sun Resort when I was traveling there last week, and she sat down next to me, and I was just so tired. I didn't really want to chat, but I knew she wanted to chat, and so we both get our dinner, and we got the same things. We started kind of talking about our pasta, and I was with her for about an hour, and when I left, the thing she said to me was, we all meet for a certain reason, and you're wonderful, and I'm proud of you, and I don't know you, but I ask that you slow down and you appreciate where you are right now. And it hit me, I could cry thinking about it, but it hit me so hard because, it's just, she was a jewelry designer from New York, she was fabulous, but thinking about, that's what she got from me in the small amount of time that we spent together, that, it was what my family says, my friends say, and again, just a reminder that, we all face these same things, and we all should take our own advice, which is really hard to do.
All this wisdom, in there.
Yeah.
But I think just to hammer that one, so a lot of leaders are driven and have lots to do, but to enjoy the ride and to figure out how to celebrate the journey and the wins along the way, even if the big goal and the mission is still over there.
I think sometimes too is because in a typical career, when you work for somebody else, you have goals. You have set goals. You have quarter one, you're going to do this. Quarter two, you're going to do this. And we just we make goals, but it's not probably as on paper concrete regimen, because we just figure it out as we go along, and so we don't really need to write it down, because we're like, okay, let's just keep moving forward. And so we don't really pause to take the break and say, woohoo, we hit Q1, we were so successful. We're just we're always just kind of moving forward. So we do have to take our own advice on that.
But and I don't know what do you have any tip or anything that you'd recommend to others, as a do this to help slow down or take a moment? Is there anything that you guys have found works, or that you're going to try to implement?
Meditate.
A little bit of
definitely, I come from a fitness, Pilates, holistic background, and we don't take enough time for ourselves. And so I think if you do always put yourself first, which is one thing a lot of women are not used to doing, especially, if we are married and we do have children, we really don't take the time to put ourselves first, or to stop and say, okay, I'm getting crazy here.
Yeah,
I'm running in circles
I need to fill up.
mentally. Yeah, because once our tanks are empty, as you were just saying, we have to refill them to keep going.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think to follow up with that too, of if you are in more of a corporate organization, to be able to set boundaries and really let them know, if it's the weekend, I'm off on the weekends, or if you're a leader and you're emailing your team at 7 o'clock at night and everybody's done at 6 o'clock, is that email really that important? Even if you say to your team, you don't need to respond to me, but I'm just getting these emails out because I'm so busy that this is the time I'm sending them, but don't worry, don't respond till the morning. That's still a really negative place to put your team in, because most of the time they're going to see that and they are going to respond, even though you're telling them that they're not expected to.
Right.
Good point. They're going to be used to doing that. So I think it comes from both sides of, from a leadership standpoint, even if you can't set your own boundaries, set boundaries for your team, because they need to be able to recharge their batteries, and again, they'll have the same respect back to you of knowing, hey, it's Sunday and maybe there's something pressing for Monday, but let's wait till Monday morning to reach out to this, because we know our leader also wants to go out and have Sunday brunch and enjoy their time with their friends and their family. So I think having those appropriate boundaries, but knowing that your team can still trust you from top to bottom, that you're going to be there if something happens or there's an emergency, but where it's that respectful, we want you to step away and we want you to take care of yourself.
Yeah.